Good morning, beautiful people. Today we're going to talk about the power of grace, and we will complete with a short process, allowing us just to get a taste of being in that space where we can access grace, connection, love, and be in a more peaceful space. And this is really useful as an exercise, as a practice to go to use, to have in your toolbox for those moments where, life is feeling tougher, when you're feeling more reactive, when your soft spots have been pressed, and, you're just struggling. If you're dealing with constant pain, you're dealing with financial issues, you're dealing with relationship hiccups, loss of work, uncertainty. My goodness, that's a big thing in the world today. Uncertainty around everything. So that's the purpose of me broaching this subject today. Felt like the right thing to be talking about. Before we do, we're just going to get centered so that we're really present. And the more present we are, connected into our bodies, into the moment, the more we receive, the more it reaches us. So, hand up on the top of your chest, flat. Other hand down on your lower abdomen, flat. Big, slow breath, that's it. In and out. Again. Exhale, letting go of everything else. So you can just be here for a few moments as we go through this little conversation together. Another big breath in and get yourself connected to your body. This is why our hands are on our body. Check in with your body, acknowledge it, send it love and gratitude for all the amazing things it does every day. Yeah, okay. Okay, Grace. I talk often about you being magical, about life being magical, about magical things happening when we're connected, when we're open. I kind of want to clarify that, because when I say these things, it's because I believe, well, it is kind of magical, but for me it's another word for grace in action. And when we open to grace and receive grace in action, we move into, well, we do this by moving into conscious choices and intentions. When we be, do, act, choose with consciousness, our choices are conscious choices. And when we, especially when we do this as best we can in any and all areas of our life, but any moment where you're able to just take a moment and process and choose in that moment, instead of just living unconsciously, which we do. I mean, it's so easy to do. Life can be busy. But when we pause and go, what's most right for me here? What do I most want? What would I choose if I was really trying to create my life today and not just be swept along by it? Because here, we're connected back into our core. And our core is love, our core is our spiritual self, our higher self, which is connected to everything else. And it plugs us back into the already existing connection to all. Allowing us to be open, aligning us with our truth, our love, and doing this, grace surrounds us as we seek to align with more of our true nature, with our purpose and our love. Grace continues to surround us. The more and more we choose and consciously open to our divine connections, our spiritual oneness, the more these connections strengthen, like using our muscles or our brain. The more we use them, the stronger they get. And the brain's a good, actually, analogy there, because, we get into mindsets and patterns of thought. We all do. Habitual thoughts and little loops that we get into, little beliefs and judgments that we don't even realize we have running until we bring our attention to it. So making a habit of stopping and choosing more regularly is strengthening in your mind a habit of pausing, of choosing, rather than just running on an automatic loop, which may not always serve you, in the ways you would like. It's when life can jam up, reflect back to you things that are maybe the opposite of what you were really desiring. And as we connect to our divine connections, to our spiritual oneness, to our self, our love, all that we truly are, we do open doors to immeasurable possibilities and solutions. We're connected into the field of all possibilities. And moments of grace from this, or as I like to say, magic, happens. This isn't something I've just heard somewhere and I'm repeating. This is something that I've come to know through experience over and over and over. When I was younger, I had some quite horrific things to recover from. And for a long time I could not face them, I could not look at them, I tried to bury them, which meant I had to distract myself, but they were like poison inside of me. And the more I avoided them, the crazier my life became. And I got into chaotic situations that I didn't expect, and I'd always be surprised. Looking back, it's kind of not surprising because I chose badly. I didn't see signs. I was really unconscious to what was going on around me. I was too busy just trying to hold everything at bay to even be able to look at things, and really see what is this in front of me. And I came to some crisis points, and I was in a position where I finally thought, I can't live like this any longer. And I had to choose. I had to choose to find another way. I was given a book by Louise Hayes, which was it was about the power of thought, and the name of the book was "You Can Heal Your Life." I think, yes, heal your life. And it was about how our thoughts can actually create illness in our body, and it was an eye-opener for me. I'd never come across this concept before. And it took me a while to embrace it, but I was curious, and that began a lifelong fascination for me in the power of thought, in being conscious and conscious choice, and where that takes us. So I had all these situations going on, including being in and out of violent relationships, which were, incredibly wearing and a bit soul destroying, to be honest. And I felt lost. I felt alone, very disheartened. So I began to try to choose, and the more I did it, the more life began to align with what I really wanted, and it was magical at times. From feeling completely at the effect of everything and anything around me, where I was powerless, doors opened, possibilities happened, kindness flowed to me. I could talk about endless situations, and I'm not going to, because I will go too far off track. But the point is, I'm speaking from many years of experience, and there are times where I forget, and I'm not always, really fully, carefully choosing. I've been dealing with chronic pain for 8 or 9 years now. Had several major surgeries, which didn't really fix the problem. And I got caught up in the pain and the tiredness for on and off I have. And then I'll look at it and I'll go, that's right. You're distracting yourself here. This might be uncomfortable. This might not be what you want right now. But fighting against it's not serving you, Viv, so I stop and I allow it, and I look at what is, and I breathe into it. I try to bring love to that moment, to that situation, and to myself. And just meet it with love, meet myself with love, and stop trying to fix it or resist it. And life opens up again, and that's a way of being conscious in that situation. The more I do that, the easier it is to live with the discomfort when it flares up. And now it's lightening up. There are things that I've noticed are nearly gone. Other things I'm still living with, and that's okay. So what is in your life that's uncomfortable? It doesn't have to be in your body. It may be a repeating situation in relationship, in finances, in wanting to live your purpose, in just being in more joy. It doesn't even have to be, something really traumatic or dramatic. It can be that you've just been on the wheel of life getting by, and over time you're feeling worn down and you're you've lost your joy, you've lost your sense of purpose, and you'd like that back. What's one thing you would like to open to the power of grace? Think of the things you most don't like about it. And ongoing, it's not ideal to focus on what we dislike about anything, but when we're in a process of releasing, we do look at it openly because we're meeting it. We're meeting it exactly as it is, and we're looking at all of the things, including the fact that we haven't been liking it, that we've been resisting it, we might have been complaining about it. We might have allowed it to make us feel paralyzed or stuck. Or we might have been going out doing things that don't serve us, or spending money that we couldn't afford, or indulging in food, drinks, anything. No judgment here, but where you're not happy with something that you're doing, being, feeling, that is where I want you to direct your attention, and direct it to what it brings up in you and how you've been with it. And just look at it all with love, as if it were, say, your best friend or your child coming to you saying, this has been going on and it's really been bugging me, and I have just been angry with myself, or angry with the situation, or stuck in it. I feel paralyzed, I feel helpless, I feel like running amok. Whatever it is, just be really open with yourself and look at it. With allowance, and I use the word allowance because allowance is allowing. It's a no judgment word. I don't like acceptance, because acceptance means it kind of has a tiny judgment to it, like you actually have to accept it. We are who we are, and we feel what we feel, so all we can do is find a way to be an allowance of it. It already is. And when we allow it, we can then open to other choices. So whatever that situation, feeling, habitual thought pattern is, I'm just going to, there we are, we're just going to breathe right through it. Notice in your body, there'll be somewhere in your body where you're feeling something. It might be an intensity, it might feel like a pressure or a pain or a sting or a stabbing or a aching. Breathe into that, because our body does hold anywhere we're sticking an emotion with judgment, with resistance. So sitting with this situation or thing in allowance, noticing your body and breathing into anywhere you're noticing any sensations, or if not, just being very present with your body and taking big slow breaths through everything. just going to be in allowance of that situation. We're going to allow some love from our heart. So feel your heart open, concentrate your attention into the heart area. Feel a smile in your heart. And allow love to just come out and flow through all of that. And then we leave it. We trust that being present with it, being in allowance, and offering it love instead of a busy mind trying to fix something it doesn't know how to fix, is enough. And then we just, as best we can, breathe into our heart, feeling the love we are, and remembering we're more than just this individual human being. We are each individual human beings, but our bodies house our spirits. And our spirits are just a unique expression of the divine, of the Creator, of God, of life, of love, of it all. And that changes the picture. That moves us into our power, that moves us into a connection to something so much bigger, where possibilities lay. Where our consciousness connects with the consciousness of all. And this openness of allowance, of love, of presence, allows us into the flow of possibilities, of solutions. So in this space, we think, what would I prefer? What would I really love? As I take my attention away from this thing. So for me, I've been focusing on having energy, feeling good in my body, being able to move comfortably, easily, having flexibility back, enjoying vitality and health. Remembering what it was like to have those things and focusing on it and sitting with that for a few moments. What is it that you've been missing, that you really, the pain, the stuckness, the looping thoughts, what's under them that you've been missing, that you've been desiring? Open to that, think about that, focus on that. What would that feel like to have that again, maybe for the first time ever? What does it look like? What would that look like in your life? What doors would that open? Yeah, that's it. Just allow yourself to sit with that a bit longer, imagining, just really seeing yourself having, doing, being. What what you really desire, like that's already in your life. Just get a sense. That this is now in existence because it is. And opening to it allows it to start showing up around you, to solidify, to become there in your everyday. And as it does that is grace. And it feels magical when it happens. So we're seeing it already in existence, already in our life, and we're going, whoa, this is so much better. And we thank the universe for the flow of everything that allowed this. We thank ourselves for choosing. We be in gratitude for all of it. And then we let it go, knowing it's there for us. And next time you find yourself caught up, worrying, stuck in a loop about this thing you're looking at right now, repeat this process, please. It works. It helps. It's a gentle, simple way of meeting life where it's at, dealing with your feelings without avoiding them or stuffing them, but also without getting stuck in them, so that you can open up to what you really, really want. And this is a really good time to do that. Okay, some big slow breaths. And that gratitude you just felt, the love you just opened to, we're going to send a moment to send that to each other, to everyone else listening to this, to everyone else everywhere, to everything everywhere, every living thing, our beautiful planet and all that's on it, everything. Gratitude and love flowing, surrounding, so grace may touch on all. Okay. We're going to slowly come back into our bodies now, bringing our attention back into this moment. Wiggle your fingers, rub your hands together. Take a big slow breath, feel yourself in your body, feel your feet on the floor or your back against the bed if you're lying down. Right back in your body now. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your love. Thank you for being you. Thank you for contributing through conscious choice, through love, through gratitude, for your kindness. Thank you. So much love. Stay blessed now.